Should I move to the cloud? This is a quote from a gentleman at SATA Systems who has done many very large cloud migrations for Fortune 500 companies. Some of their migrations are for 80 to 100,000 users. Very knowledgeable, very skilled at cloud migrations. He says, quote, "I have done more projects than I care to remember in my career. The worst project failures were all involving cloud migrations." He goes on to explain this. It's not quite as dire as it seems. In cloud migrations, end user training becomes the most important project component. For some things this isn't true. Most people are used to working in, say, Outlook or Word. And so assuming that the back end is the only thing that's changed, they may not have any negative experiences in needing to be, use a new software package, for example. If we were changing somebody from Outlook to, say, Gmail, maybe there would be a little bit more training involved. It really depends on what the products are and where they're being moved to, what sort of cloud project we're talking about, but end user training can become very, very important. Understanding the business's needs is critical. What are the goals of the business and how will the cloud help the business achieve those goals? Educating the decision makers and stakeholders about what the cloud offering will provide and won't provide. So when talking about a cloud project and moving into the cloud, perhaps you're moving from one software application to a completely different software application, and it's not just going from something you do yourself to something hosted in the cloud. You need to plan out and determine what the business's needs are to ensure that the cloud system will fulfill those needs and objectives. We also need to make sure that the stakeholders and decision makers are understanding what the limitations of the cloud product are going to be, if there are any. In some cases, there may not be any limitations. One limitation that comes to mind is if you're using Microsoft's Exchange Online, there's a very specific way it has to be configured if you're going to use your centralized scanners to send a scanned document out through the internet to an internet user at, say, a third-party organization. If the scanner doesn't support certain kinds of communication mechanisms supported by Office 365, you may not be able to do this without a server in-house to bridge the gap between the scanner and Office 365. These are the sorts of things that have to be figured out before beginning the move so they can be planned for and mitigated during the migration. No cloud service is a silver bullet technology. Really what this is about is, as marketing engines have built up around the cloud and how wonderful it is, a lot of times it can generate noise about, the cloud is a fix for all of these myriad technical problems, when really the previous model could be made to do the same thing, perhaps at a lower cost. And it's important to kind of track where the pros and cons between the two models might be. The cloud can definitely be a silver bullet technology for some issues, but it's important to understand what the business's issues are and ensure that that is going to be solved by the cloud service. From Buck Woody, Senior Technical Specialist at Microsoft, a move to the cloud should only be done because something is broken that the cloud can fix or the cloud can do something you can't do internally. So, the cloud can fix certain things and it may not fix others. Maybe there's something you can't do internally with your mail platform. For example, you can't provide the required 30 gigabytes of mail storage capacity to all of your users internally. Well, Microsoft Exchange provides 50 gigabytes of mail just to start per user. That can solve that problem of space. Perhaps you need a document management system, and the document management system you've chosen is SharePoint. Well, SharePoint is a very costly document management system to implement internally for a small business. Microsoft provides it in the cloud at very low cost. And so you could move into that document management system in the cloud much more readily than you could do it internally. So that is our presentation for today on Cloud 101. Thank you very much for attending.